Collaborative working, again, very important. You are not, as I say, no man is an island. You're not working in silo. You're actually working with the teams, not just in one place. I've been working in the projects in the last almost 10, 12 years. All the projects that I've been working on in the last year or so, in the last 12 years, I have not worked with teams in one place. All of them were like teams in UK, EU, America, some in India, some in Portugal, some in China, some in Switzerland. This is one project I'm talking about. Every project will have some front-end teams located here, back-end team located somewhere else, and the middleware, some other place, the business in some other place, the sales team is some other place, the stakeholders some other. You are actually having distributed teams, geographically distributed teams. That's the norm of the day nowadays. You cannot afford to say that, you know what, I'm more comfortable talking and working with people next to me. Sorry, you can't afford to have that luxury. You can't just say that I'm more comfortable working with, sorry, I want to have a quick gulp. Feeling a bit dry off late, even it happened yesterday as well. I don't know why. So you cannot afford to say that I'm more comfortable working with people next to me, sitting next to me, or face to face. You know what? Sorry, you've got teams located everywhere. You should be able to converse and able to actually engage with them, and then be able to work alongside with the teams located and dispersed geographically. That's a norm. So again, collaboration. That's why you use a lot of collaborative tools, right? That's why you're using all these online conferencing tools, collaborative coding tools like GitHub. You use Jira, Trello, TFS, Microsoft Team Foundation Server. All these, there are so many tools out there which are actually helping you manage your work in a collaborative way. Jive, for example, very collaborative software development tool. So you should work with multidisciplinary teams. You can't just say, I like only development, I'll only work with developers. Sorry, you've got to work with architects, you've got to work with testers. The person who is going to look at your build and actually kind of ripping it apart is a tester who actually finds faults with your code. That's okay. It's actually for the benefit of the product. It's not personal. Don't take it personal that the tester has identified 1,000 defects with your build. Fair enough. And you try and work with the testers to make sure that those defects, whether they're cosmetic or showstoppers, whatever it is, you try and kind of fix those defects. Don't be personal. So you should be able to work with multidisciplinary, different types of skills, different types of skill levels, and different roles as well. And again, the point I was trying to make with the distributed teams, you cannot afford to actually say that I would like to work with people who I can see and go for lunch. Sorry, you need to work with people who are spread everywhere. Sustainable development, again, very important. It should be well planned. It should be well paced. We were talking about pacing. Again, plan, iteration, and measure minor releases. We're talking about the tick-tock of Apple, that kind of tick and a talk, which is big and a small one. Big bang and the small thing. Big, huge product development, huge product version, vis-a-vis small little updates, changes to the security and things like that. Again, we need to have that kind of clear planning in place. Schedule and package the features, very important. Again, you can have a better idea how you can create all these features as one bunch of one release, within one release, or placed across multiple releases. It's up to the product manager or the product management team to be able to create this kind of roadmap as to what should be the release strategy, what should be the features that should be packed into the releases and things. Again, retrospect and adapt, very important. We had a discussion around this. Planned, executed, reviewed. We need to plan our work properly. We need to execute the work, implement the work, and then we need to actually review the work, how it has been done. So all of that, not in a year, 2 years, or 3 years time period like in waterfall, but they should be done within the iteration. They should be done, for example, the iteration is 3 weeks, the sprint is 3 weeks. You start before 3 weeks, you have the sprint planning done. You know what is to be done in this week. So that's what is discussed in the sprint planning. If you've got any problems, sort them out, and then you actually execute. That's called sprint execution for 3 weeks, where the work is done, the development, the testing, and the analysis and everything else is done there. and then you deploy it or you make it ready. And then after that 3 weeks sprint is done, execution is done, you spend 2 hours to 3 hours to go through that stuff. That's what we do in sprint review and sprint retrospective sessions. We actually look back and see how we did it, what was the outcome of this particular 3 weeks, how did it shape up, what are the things that went well, what did not go well, how can we improve, and all this stuff. So we hold regular reviews and